Hey guys, Alchemist here. I hope you all had an incredible week. This week I did start my first FTMO demo account as I have promised, and I am going to be showing you full transparency, and the only 3 trades I took this week were all losses, so I'm actually going to be showing you all the losses in this video here. Now, all traders take losses, not all traders are happy to share them. I am, so I'm willing to show you all the transparency and to be 100% open with you guys, and we're going to go through those 3 valid losses that I did take on Tuesday. Unfortunately, around Tuesday, we did have some family issues that have popped up, and I haven't actually been able to take a trade since. So I'm looking forward to this coming Monday to get back into the groove of things as well. So of course, we are going to be starting off with that blank weekly chart. And we do know that now we're coming into this unmitigated portion of this supply here in terms of the weekly. And the demand is still going to be the same level all the way from over here. So this is going to be our demand. That's going to be our supply. We'll jump down to the daily time frame. Okay, the daily boss that we had was from here to here. This is going to be our daily boss. Because this one here, this didn't fulfill the pullback requirement of 110 pips. So this one here is only 90 pips. So therefore it's not a daily high that broke. So it was just a pause in the market on the daily time frame. Daily lows, obviously just the lowest point below the daily boss line. And then the daily high has yet to be set because we haven't had a bearish pullback of at least 110 pips. Therefore, on the daily time frame, this is all that we need to do, and we can jump down to the 4-hour. So on the 4-hour here, we had this as the most recent breakup structure. Okay, and then we did have this here. So from this high to the bottom was 97 pips, and then we had a body close above. So this became the new 4-hour boss. And the lowest point below here is this week. So it's going to be the 4-hour low. And we need to see a bearish pullback of at least 90 pips to confirm the 4-hour high. So in this case here, we hadn't yet set a 4-hour high. In terms of POIs, this is not a very nice range at all. We can take this whole week as a demand. Right, we can see it's been mitigated. It's been mitigated here. And then we can take the unmitigated portion of this one, tapping into this week. This week is not a demand yet because it hasn't actually set a new higher high, but it is forming off that chain, so we can be marking it like this as well. We do have these buy to sell wicks within here, which interacted with this as an extreme supply, which then failed. And we can see price tapped into it, absorbed orders pushed up, created that supply. So these are the POIs on the 4-hour. It was not a very nice 4-hour range at all. And then on the 15-minute, the 15-minute boss that we had was here. This was our boss. This was our low. And up here was our 15-minute high. Perfect. So why this here is the 15-minute boss is the 15-minute high was the same point as our 4-hour high. And then here we've got 2 candle closes above. So if you haven't watched the mapping of structure video that I've put out on YouTube, I will be putting a link in the corner here. So once we did have these 2 body closes above, this gold candle, then the black candle also has closed with its body above. Then this became our 15-minute high after we had a bearish pullback of at least 22 pips. And then of course, when that has failed with 2 bullish candles above, that was our new 15-minute boss. So our 15-minute range is quite large at this point. It's from here to here. There are quite a few different POIs that we can be marking out. We have this as a demand. We have this as a supply. I haven't turned my Xbox on in about 2 years, not that long, maybe 8 months. And it had about 12 gigs worth of updates before I could play any games. So I think that's just finished now. In terms of our order flow, this was the most recent change of character. So that when the high failed here, and then the lowest point failed here with the body close below. Not chalk up, chalk down. Right, so this is one bearish leg down. And so this is the last lower high that has set a lower low. Everything within here is internal and we're not interested in it. We want to see the last, the last lower high that set a lower low. And we'd need to see this high fail for order flow to turn bullish on this time frame. So let's just fill this out here. Our daily is bullish. Our 4-hour is also bullish. Our 15-minute structure, bullish. And our order flow is bearish. What this really helps with as well is this, along with premium and discount, answer all the questions for the flowcharts, which actually allow the members to know whether they're entering a valid or invalid trade. Well, they shouldn't be entering an invalid trade, but they'll know whether the trade is valid to enter or not. And so just having this here, it's just a constant reminder of where exactly we're situated and where we can expect price to be going next. So this is that 4 hour, not yet demand. We can sort of refine it down a little bit. Again, this is another very large 4 hour here. So we can see we had this zone that's swept liquidity of the inside bar to its left. And then that itself got swept, which has initiated this pullback after we've taken the liquidity below this low. All right, there's lots of interaction in this piece here as well. We have this as a supply. Then we have this as its flip, which was then mitigated shortly after, which has led to this whole sort of demand chain building up. And here we've swept the liquidity, which has allowed price to push up, and then we're sort of ranging going sideways for a bit. And this is not very nice price action to be trading when price is just going sideways. This whole week hasn't been really good at all, to be honest, but unfortunately that's just what happens sometimes. Market's not always going to be perfect, and that's just sort of where we're situated in terms of our overall time frame too, so where we're situated on the weekly, and also January not being the best month to be trading as well. So there's a few more here, but this is sufficient for now. We know that we've tapped into this supply. We've pushed down. We've had a little bit of a reaction. So even, let's just do a couple more here. So we have this as a supply, this as a demand. Take this whole POI, or you can take the top of this week to the bottom of this week, see how it's been swept. Had a bullish reaction, but essentially supply held at this point and broke below this low. So this is a supply. Perfect. And now this is 10 a.m. on Tuesday, and the trades were just a little bit later than this. I'll show you the exact entries and everything as well, and I'll also show you the journal of as to me actually journaling the trades later in this video, as well as the MyFX book and the FTMO website as well, to be 1,000,000% transparent, so you know that I'm not lying or talking smack, but that it's 100% real, that everything I'm doing. So here we go. Then we've got this as well. Okay, we have some inducement here. We can see that this wick has mitigated this, so you could have taken the unmitigated portion, or you can just have this whole part here. So this is 11:45, coming into 12 when we've now tapped into this. We were looking at opportunities to take shorts to the next 15-minute demand. All right, so again, we can see that this wasn't yet a demand. It hasn't created a new higher high, so this was the last lower high, but this is coming off of a demand. So this is something called an interaction zone, but I'm not going to get into that in this video here. And we can see as well that we haven't actually mitigated it at this point, so it hasn't completely tapped. Let's look at the low of this candle. That is 489, and the high of this candle is 489, so it did tap it. Perfect. And then the next sort of wick here has mitigated that there. But again, none of these have actually set higher highs. So this here, we'll take this as a demand. Take this as a demand. But when we are range bound, it's just better to have more realistic and smaller targets, just so that you don't have to hold price through too much sideways ranging and consolidation. Have these buy to sell wicks here. And we have this, which is also swept liquidity. All right. All of these have had interaction. Cool. Going down to the 1 minute. There was a trade around this time here, but my rule at the time was not to be taking a trade until 12, because that's when the real volume, I believed, was entering into the Asian session. It was actually a mistake on my part in a calculation due to daylight savings, and it's actually 11 a.m. Sydney time where the Asian session starts to move. So there was actually a trade which a few of the members did take here, so well done to those. I'm not going to be reviewing that because I didn't take that one there. I will show you the one that I took, or the few that I took. Perfect. So as we're coming into here, we've tapped in, right? We've had some sort of liquidation, which I'm not going to go too much in detail into about here. We've had our bearish change of character. Chalk down. I believe this is where a lot of the members actually entered. Cool, so we take 25%, run a 2.5 pip stop loss, right? Or you can just drop it 1 because we're covering the high quite substantially here. In terms of our targets, well, we know we're going to have to take partials at 4R. Cool. And then our target was actually the refined section of this 15-minute POI, which was these last, this demand zone here. So these last sell before the buy. Cool. So that was the overall target, but we would have also had partials at 4R. It was just over 5. It might, sorry, that was over 5 for my position. This was what the members were taking as well. So this one here did get to break even, right? But then eventually it did come and spike them out, and prices played a little bit too far there. Just go back a little bit. Cool. So at this point, where 4R lived was here. So I believe they might have actually played this with a 2 pip stop loss. I can have a look in the Discord just in a moment, but we did definitely get partials off. And this one, I did actually put a screenshot up on Instagram. So if you guys aren't following me on Instagram, make sure you do. I'm putting out a lot more content on there and just updates with the course as well. But again, I didn't take this trade, so I'm not really going to be going into too much detail about it here. We did have another liquidation. Cool. And then in terms of our change of character, so this was just the inside bar, so we'll play price a little bit further. So once we've now taken this high, we do have candles trading lower. This was our chalk down. And this was the liquidity grab. And then I was placing my entry of 25% of this unmitigated wick. We see price goes down. Cool. My rule is, I'm not going to get into too much detail about it actually now as to when I would be canceling my limits. But in this case here, it was actually safe to be holding them. Just going to minimize these to keep price and to keep the charts a little bit cleaner. So this is that 15-minute demand, but I've actually refined it to here as the actual overall target. Again, all of this is covered completely in the course. We do also have some inducement here. Liquidity is something I think a lot of people struggle with, and I think it's something that I've been able to simplify quite well in the course as well. So if it is something that you're struggling with, book in a 15-minute chat. I can show you exactly sort of how we do things. Well, not exactly, but I can show you a preview of it just to see if you're interested in finding out more and joining the course. So this is the supply. We've also swept the whole supply as well, so there's something else to keep in mind. And then we placed our entry here with 2.5 pips. What's the high here? So the high is 763. So 766 is 0.3 above. We had 4R for partials there. And then the overall target, as mentioned, was the refinement of that 15-minute POI, which was for its total of 6R. So as I did mention at the beginning of this video, all these trades that I'm showing you were losses. So I'll show you them anyway. Perfect. So this was in and out within the same candle pretty much. So that was cool, right? We did take a loss here. And then there were 2 other trades. I will be showing you as well the Notion template and everything so you can see exactly where I've entered. I'm 99% sure it was to the tick, but I will have to just confirm that when we do have a look at the Notion. And then so that was cool. That was the loss. Once that loss then occurred, right, it was quite frustrating because it did exactly go to where I was intending to take price. It just didn't take me along for the ride. There was actually another trade that I got into before this. This was the second loss. There was another loss within here. Oh yeah, here it was. So apologies for that. Once this was swept, and we do have this, it was hard to spot in the moment, but I did do this live. So we had this candle here, then the next candle trading lower. So this was our chalk. So this was the liquidity grab for the chalk. And then the actual chalk was from here to here. And then I was placing my limit at 25% of this zone. Again, you'll see the screenshots, you'll see the entries. So, you know, I'm not just making this up now, but they were all losses. This one here was held for like 3 minutes. Again, I just played it with 2.5 pips down to here. believe it might have been, it would have been just over 5R. It was, yep, it was there. So this one here was the first loss. Okay. Then when price swept the whole POI and I saw this V-shaped reaction, then I have taken this trade again. Again, as mentioned, it's gone all the way to our target and past it as well, but it did not take me in because it was out straight away. Did need to take some more liquidity by the looks of things. And then there was one last entry. So price then came all the way back up. Apologies, it just cut out there. So we are back here. So yeah, as mentioned, we did interact with that 15-minute demand. Once we did, we want to have a look back at the 15-minute zone now, the 15-minute time frame, sorry. And we can see that we've actually created a new 15-minute supply in this candle here. So now once price was coming back into there and I'd seen that this demand here failed, right? This is a demand because it did set a higher high. Once this demand had failed, I was looking to take a continuation short from this supply. And you'll see the notes as well. I knew that this wasn't going to be an ideal trade because we were still range bound. However, that doesn't matter. All that matters is that we have a trading plan that we stick to. We have an edge which probabilistically works out in our favor and we just execute flawlessly on that edge. So now as price tapped into here, beautiful. We did have another one of the liquidation models I like to see play out. And we also have our change of character forming below here. Yeah, we have our body close. All right. Now, with the extreme in this case, it's so small. And the issue with the flip is it hasn't actually swept any liquidity. So what I actually did was I went from here. Okay. I wanted to cover the high substantially because I thought it could get swept again. And because this was such a small range, I still did play 2.5 pip stop loss. So I think it was about here. I think I covered this by 0.8 in the end, just because of spreads as well. So 5.4, want to go to 6.2. So there we go, 6.2. 2.5 pips, so it would have been there. And then in terms of targets, it was to this low here. So we have this candle that it swept liquidity. There were two zones that it swept liquidity that I was interested in or thought price might have a reaction from. This one and this one. And so I was going to run it to this low here. Now you'll see with this trade, again, it was a loss. This one tapped me in and it was actually moving in my direction for quite some time, at least longer than 30 seconds like the last trade. So this one here, we were tapped in. And again, this is still within the Asian session. And then we can see it played out for about 40 minutes or so. Didn't quite get me to 4R, went sideways for a bit and then took me out. So there were 3 losses that I took. We will now jump onto Notion and have a look at how I've journaled them. And just to show you the exact entry points, I will also be showing you the MyFX book and the FTMO website just to 100% confirm. So I'm just going to be 100% transparent with you guys. Every single trader will be taking losses. There's not a single trader out there that doesn't take any losses. However, I'm sure if you try to find any of the mentors that you've usually used in the past or any other mentor that you see on YouTube, it's very, very unlikely that you'll find them talking about their losses. So I'm very open to be sharing this stuff with you guys. I do take losses. I have my win rate's about 65%, and the minimum R to R that we take at Millennial Wealth Group is 5R. So you can do the math. It's quite a profitable strategy. If you do want to learn more about the strategy, if you're not currently a member already, book in a free 15-minute consultation in the link below. Otherwise, let's jump onto Notion and have a look at the journal trades. So now that we've seen the actual trade breakdown, I just wanted to show you as well the Notion template that I use for journaling. I will have a whole separate video just about how I use my Notion, but today we're just going to review those 3 losses that I just took on Tuesday. And so we'll go through them here, and then I'll also show you the link to my FX book, as well as the FTMO demo server as well, just because I am promising to be 100% transparent. And this coming week as well, any trades I take, whether losses or wins, I'll also be showing those. So if we have a look here, we've got the 3 trades that we just went through. So the first one here, of course, it was the short that we just saw on AU. What we do here is we have a screenshot of the 4-hour, a screenshot of the 15-minute, and an annotated screenshot as well of the 1-minute. And as part of the members' final assessment, they do a total of 50 trades of these, whether they're live tested, forwards tested, or back tested. And then we have a very, very deep one-on-one session. These usually go for 1.5 to 2 hours. We will go through all 50 trades and make sure that the trades that the members took were valid. And I will be giving them pointers on where they could have potentially done a little bit better. So that was our 4 hour. We know that 4 hour and 15 minute were both bullish. Order flow was bearish. So in terms of our 15 minute here, our 15 minute high was up here. This was our boss. This here was our change of character. So we were bearish here. Again, this was just one big leg down. All of the internal changes of character within here are irrelevant. I'm looking at the last lower high that set that lower low, and the chalk up would need to be all the way up here. So we were looking to take a short here because we were coming from premium of the 15 minute range, and we were still bearish in terms of order flow. Now here we have the 1 minute. So we have the liquidation model that we saw occur. And then of course the entry, which took us out within a few minutes, which is completely fine. And then there's a few questions here as well. So did it fit your trading plan? So if a member was to ever tick no, I think there's only been one so far. That would be where they'd have a very stern talking to. Did we correctly manage our position? So having our partials or moving our position to break even, depending on how the member decides to manage their trades. How were they feeling before and before taking the trade? Would we have taken this exact trade on $1 million account, as that's sort of the idea here? We're trying to scale our capital larger and larger. And how could we have improved? So it's 100% by the trading plan. Therefore, we've got nothing to improve. I know the trade setup wasn't perfect, but that's irrelevant. What we need to do as traders for our edge and our probabilities to work out, we just need to take every valid trade. And that's what we've done here. And so the second one was right after it. So it's the exact same 4 hour screenshot, the exact same 15 minute screenshot. And then on the 1 minute here, we see the first one that took us out was this entry here. And then after we had another liquidation model occur and we built up some inducement as well, we looked to take another entry, which as you can see, we obviously got spiked out of within the first minute, and then price actually ran to our expected TP. But again, that doesn't matter. All that matters is that we have a plan, we have a proven edge, and we stick to it no matter what. So again, I didn't love the setup due to the consolidation, and there was no real conviction from either supply or demand. We were just ranging sideways. But again, we just followed the plan. Sound like a broken record, but that's literally all that we need to do. Would I have taken it on a $1 million account? Yes, because it fit my plan. Nothing to change. We follow the plan. All right. And then the last one here as well. So again, same 4 hour, different 15 minutes. So the first two trades were within this piece of price action here, where price did actually go as intended after spiking and taking some more liquidity. And then as we've returned, after we've seen this demand failure, we've gone back up. We've created a new supply zone as we've set a new lower low, and we're looking to take a continuation short from here. So on the 1 minute here, we can see we've built up some inducement. We did also have another liquidity model in this case here. We had 2.5 pip stop loss. We're covering the high sufficiently in this matter here. And then as we see, price sort of went in our direction a little bit. We didn't quite get to our partials, and we could see we were building up some liquidity here, but price did continue a little bit further higher. And again, it's a very valid loss on my last bullet. What the bullet system is just depending on how many trades you're willing to take per day and how much risk per trade, which we all work out for the members in the trade management section after they've completed the course. Did it fit the trading plan? Yes. Did we manage it correctly? Yes. We didn't really get to the point where we could have taken partials, but they were set there. And again, I knew on my last bullet, I didn't love the setup. However, we just take every trade that fits our plan. So yes, I would have also taken this trade on $1 million account, and there's nothing to improve. We just follow the plan. So guys, I'm just going to be sharing with you all the trades that I am taking just to have 100% transparency. A lot of the traders out there, every single trader takes losses. Not many traders actually share those. So I'm just trying to be a little bit more transparent and genuine in this space. Again, people throw out that term genuine and transparent a lot when really they're not. So this is something that we're really trying to make a change for. There's too much BS in the Forex industry, and with Millennial Wealth Group and the community that we're creating here, I'm hoping we can sort of be that shining light to change that, or to not even just to change it, but to make a small impact in our own way. So that's everything I wanted to show you on Notion today. We'll have a quick look at my FX book and FTMO as well, just to confirm. So this here is my FX book. I'm just trying to work out something with the investor password so that I can share actually the URL for you guys to follow along this journey. Again, we can see here it's a demo. I've never said that this wasn't a demo. It's just getting back in the swing of things. And as well, it's just not the best time of the year to be taking a challenge. So the demo account here, we did take 3 trades. I risk 0.5% per trade. So really the loss should have been 1.5%. I haven't in this case accounted for commissions because my overall R&R is always positive, month to month at least, not every week to week. I know that overall I will like the increase in the positive 0.5% is going to outweigh the loss in those commissions. However, I will be adjusting my trade assistant down a little bit just so that I can make sure I can remain to that 1.5% drawdown. So again, we can see there was 3 trades taken. 0% were won because they were all losses. The pips that were lost were only 7.8, so I'm risking 2.5% per trade. And you can see here the average loss, 2.6 pips, so that 0.1 of a pip would have just been a bit of slippage, and the lots traded and everything else like this. So I will be sharing this for you guys to follow along in the demos, in the challenge, and after the challenge as well. Once I do get the actual funded account and my personal account, I probably won't be showing the actual figures in the personal. It'll be a percentage gain, and maybe potentially 2 with the funded, just depending on how much it continues to grow. I am being transparent, I'm being open, but there's also some things that you don't really want to be sharing too much and attracting too much attention or anything like that. So I will be sharing percentages. You'll know it's a funded account. You'll know it's a minimum of 6 figures, but there probably won't be exact figures there. So there we had a look at FX book, and I will also just get the FTMO one out. And now we're on the FTMO part here. So we can see it started on the 17th because that's when I took the first trade. We've only traded 1 day. That I haven't really had too much opportunity since Tuesday to be trading. The maximum loss that I've had here, you can see the actual 3 trades, the exact 3 that we just went through. You can see the duration here. This one was 10 seconds, 3 minutes, and the one that I held for 49 minutes. And we can see, of course, they were all 3 losses, and that these lots here, 51.3, align with this here at 51.3. So again, once I do get the funded and once I'm doing the challenge, I will also be showing this to actually see that this is 100% real. I'm not trying to take a screenshot and Photoshop it or anything like that. You'll be able to see it. And I think with FTMO now as well, with the withdrawal certificates, the QR code can be actually certified. So you can actually scan the QR code or you can submit it to FTMO and they'll tell you whether it's a real withdrawal or if someone's just made it as a fake graphic, because I do know quite a few people that have done that in the past. So I hope you've enjoyed today's video. If you have, please do leave a like, a comment, and let me know what you'd like to see next. I'm really excited to be taking this demo further in this next week, and then an additional one before taking the challenge within February. As well, I am looking forward to the daylight savings switch off because currently London Open in Sydney is at 7 p.m. So it is a little bit late. I am just going to be focusing on the Asian session for the challenge just because I don't want to be trading from 7 to 10 p.m. at night, given that I'm waking up around 5 a.m. every day. But I will keep you posted with the journey and how it's all going. If you do have any comments or if there's anything else that you'd like to ask, please let me know. If you're interested in joining, you of course know that there's a 15-minute free consultation booking in the description below. Make sure you follow me on Instagram too, because I am a lot more active on there these days. So thanks guys for watching if you've made it this far, and I hope you have a great weekend.